Hey, good people, welcome to my channel. I am Nuku, the Horned Dakini, coming on to give you guys a reading. So pull up. This could be a resource for reading for you, okay? OGs, hello. I'm going to shout y'all out first. I normally say hello to the newbies, but OGs, returnees, subscribees, hello, how y'all doing? Thank you so much for being here. Newbies, if this is your very first time seeing me, welcome. I hope that you do choose to subscribe and stay. I am delighted to have you, and you are welcomed here, okay? Come on to give you guys a reading. So, again, pull on up. This could be a very resourceful reading for you, as I've already mentioned, okay? I get these hands good and oiled up, okay? Did y'all know I make oils? Hold on, let me do a little shameless plug. I normally don't do this, but I don't know if YouTube knows that I make all kind of little oils. This is called Sweet Boost. This one's called Sweet Boost. It boosts whatever you trying to do. My oils are intention based. They are luxury ritual oils, and they obey you. I just put the ingredients in them that are in alignment with whatever it is that particular oil is made for. This, again, is Sweet Boost. All kind of wonderful things off in there. If you're interested in it, you want to know more about it, drop a comment down in the section and I'll send you, well, actually, you can email me. Just go over to the About section and my email is over there. And a few of you have emailed me asking about readings. I work 2 jobs. I got a little hustles on the side. So y'all, I don't always have time to read. I advertise more on my Instagram when I am available because it's such a impromptu time when I am going to read. So I always let them know, hey y'all, I'm available now, reading today, woo woo. But I don't always come on YouTube and do that. So if you're in need of a reading, just email me. And if I know in advance what days I'm going to be reading, then I'll shoot you that, that little calendar. Or if I'm reading at the moment that I happen to see your email, then I'll let you know, hey, I'm reading today, woo woo woo. But a few of you have reached out wanting readings, and I've had to tell you that I wasn't reading and to check back or send you, or though for those of you who sent the emails, I sent you emails saying that I'll let you know when I am reading again. Okay, so I'm gonna get that together. I really just come on here and do my free general readings because I love reading. I love being insightful. I love sharing my gift, and yeah, but I got a lot of stuff going on. So reading is not my only thing. It's my favorite thing, but it's not the only thing that I do. Okay. Thank you, Sweet Spirit, for using me as a trusted and true vessel to bring about a message for the collective that will soon be here to view this reading. Show me clearly who, what, when, why, where, how. Show me what's relative. Show me what's relative. Show me what's relative. I'm going to lay 3 cards, and then I'll build from there. If the cards happen to come out in the reverse, I will not be reading reversals. So you will see me turn the cards in the upright. I'll show. Justice. That's Libra's energy. I'll show. Seven of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to pull 6. I'm being guided to go ahead and pull 6 cards. Ace of Swords. So we have 2 aces here. Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. Daughter of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. And the Emperor. One of the first images I saw as I was laying cards was a duck. Now, I don't know why. Ain't no duck on none of these cards. Ain't no duck on none of these cards. So I don't know why I saw a duck. Now, I remember back when I was growing up, we would use that term to describe someone who was easily duped, who you could easily get over on them. You could easily use them for whatever you wanted to use them for. They were a duck, right? A lot of the women use that term when they met a guy that they could get anything out of without giving him any time or attention. I don't know what that has to do with this reading, but that's the animal that I saw as I was laying the cards, a duck. And then I had to, tell you what we used that term for. Poor duck got a bad rap because the humans wanted to attach the name, that term, to something that was kind of malicious. Okay. Anywho, let's talk about this Justice card up against this Seven of Pentacles. That's up against this Ace of Pentacles. I do believe that I am speaking to someone or someone's who I feel like you had to cut away some stuff to see who may have been behind the scenes messing with your manifestations. And you found out. You saw it. You saw who it was. You saw what they did. I also believe that I could be speaking to someone who went to prison, who went to jail, and you got put on pause for a minute. Something that you had started doing, you had to stop doing it because you had to fight a legal matter that ended you in the prison system, okay? You might didn't do it a long time. You might have did a long time. This could be very present. This could have been a past situation. Place the energy where it belongs. But I can see that, now I just saw the image of a bell. I think I'm talking to somebody who was recently released. Or this could be somebody in your life. This may or may not be you, okay? Or this could be, maybe it's a partner. Maybe I'm picking up on your partner's situation. But I'm picking up on a situation that either time was served. Maybe that's why I'm seeing the image of a bell. Time was served, like, like a recess bell when it was time to go out and play. Whatever the case may be, for those of you who are resonating with this, because it is about a jail sentence time, you're not going to jail. I think I'm talking to somebody who's already done some time. Whatever you were doing prior to that experience, prior to whatever, you got caught up in, I believe that you had planted some seeds and began to do something. And whatever it was that you planted, somebody saved it for you, or the universe paused it. And now that you're back home, now that you're back, back to yourself, you are back at it. And it's actually plentiful. It's actually growing. It's actually paying off. Now, the jail time and all of that, I don't think that has anything to do with this. I think you may have made a mistake. It could have been a mistaken identity. I don't know. This has nothing to do with what you were in jail for. Okay? For those of you who are resonating with this being some type of, sentence. It doesn't, yeah. Whatever you were doing prior to the jail experience, prior to the mistake that you made, whatever, you might have been doing this while you were making the mistake. Because just because people make mistakes don't mean that they're not still making good decisions in other areas of their lives. Or maybe the mistake is what helped you make, plant a seed and make some decisions that led to this plentifulness, but you got caught up, okay? Place the energy where it belongs. Something that you did during or prior to the experience is now paying off, okay? Seven of Pentacles. Planting seeds, tending to it, or something tended to it. Maybe before you went to jail, you left some money for a family member, a husband or wife to start a business, and they started the business, and now it is plentiful. Or maybe they did just enough to keep it going, and now that you're home, you're back at it, and you have hit the ground running. It has paid out. And I know that because the Ace of Pentacles is right here, okay? I also see that you have regained trust in, I think you have, I don't know, you may have already been this kind of person before you went in, but I believe that you trust God, you trust the universe more than you ever have. Maybe you were not a religious person or a spiritual person prior to your experience, but now you are. There is something, I'm getting the feeling, the energy of someone who some type of miracle happened. Maybe you didn't have to do it all the time, and you prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and out of everybody that you encountered in jail, and all the times that they tried to, what's the word? Filed appeals, and theirs never went through. You filed an appeal, and you got released. So I feel like I'm talking to somebody who something was reestablished or activated within you from a religious or spiritual standpoint, and you have a faith that is beyond measure because you saw God, the cosmos, infinite intelligence, source, whatever you call it, you saw it move on your behalf. It could have even been, again, if this was a mistaken identity or you didn't even do the crime, whatever the case may be, you may still have to sit down for a minute. You still probably had to serve some time while the universe was untying the knots, while the universe was working on your behalf behind the scenes, getting you out of the situation. Something worked out in your favor. Okay, something worked out in your favor. Now, while the universe was doing all of that and working in behind the scenes, getting you out of this situation, it wasn't easy. You had some nights where you cried. You had some days where you cried. You had some days when your faith wasn't up to par. You had days when you didn't know what was going to go on, and you were angry. You might even got in trouble a few times while you was in there. All kind of things happen when your freedom is jeopardized or when it is taken away from you. So it was not an easy walk. It was not an easy walk. However, I'm talking to somebody who stood 10 toes down saying, I don't care. I'm coming up out of here. I'm coming up out of here. I'm talking to somebody who did not do no, I don't know the jail lingo, 25 to life and all of that, 35 to life. I don't know if it's certain set percentages, but if you had 25 to life, you didn't even have to do them 25. I'm talking to somebody who was released early, or your partner was released early. Maybe you are the wife or the husband of the person who was locked up, and maybe you're the person that kept the business up. You're the person that tended to the money while he or she was locked up. Like, oh, and it's another thing I'm sensing. So your partner was trustworthy too. If you're the one who was in jail, you came home to a very worthy, a very trustworthy partner. Because they held you down. They did not run through your money. They did not blow they really stood by you and kept it a beam, kept it a buck. They really did. And this Ace of Pentacles is just showing me also that I feel like she or he, your mate, it's almost like they did a lot of things for you. I don't care if you got 6-7 years. They still shopped for you. So when you came home, things were put in place for you. Like you already had clothes and shoes and your own everything. Like whoever your partner was, they held it down in such a way that they still treated you like you were home. So they made sure that no matter what, you had what you needed while you was in there. And once they found out that you were coming home, they went and shopped. Because I see that they changed some decor in the home just to make you feel at home. So maybe they gave you your own man cave. So you came home, say you be Cowboys fan or a big Eagles fan or whatever. They got you all Eagles, everything. You got your man cave. You got a big screen TV. You got, if you drank Budweiser or you was a Crown man, whatever. It's like if I'm talking to a woman who did this for her man, I just feel like whoever I'm talking to, your partner made sure that you did not want for shit while you was in there. And they've also made sure you don't want for shit now that you are home. They made you so comfortable. You didn't miss out on nothing because they made sure that your comfort was in tip-top shape. Now let's talk about this Ace of Swords. That came out under the Justice card earlier when I mentioned that it was not easy walking this path. This card reminds me of the Long Green Mile. I don't know why, because ain't nothing green on this card, but I see the road, the winding road. It was a long road. And even though you may had only, for some of y'all maybe you only did 2-3 years, but sometimes 2-3 years when you in an uncomfortable situation can feel like forever. Or maybe some of y'all did do forever, because taking a big chunk of somebody's life, 10 years, is forever. You know, shit. Who got 10 years they just want to throw away to the system, right? So, yeah, it was a long time coming. So there was a lot of things that you had to reestablish within yourself. And I think while you were in there, you did sit down with yourself. At some point throughout your time, you sat down with yourself. You actually said, you know what, I'm here, so I might as well make the best of it. So that might have been when you began to read your Bible. That might be when you began to listen to or watch, or maybe you go to the library and got books, metaphysical books, spiritual books, other religious type books. You started your religious or spiritual crusade while you were in that, and that's what helped you begin to reestablish or establish, because maybe you never had it and you began to tap it while you were in this experience, right? I believe that you tapped into something that it had probably been there all along. Maybe you just hadn't exercised it, okay? That's what the Daughter of Cups is representing to me in this reading, that God had been there with you the whole time, even though you had not been acknowledging it. Some of y'all were Christians, and this experience taught you to go back to the foundation, to the Word of God. You just tapped back into it. That's the ones of you who reestablished or you reactivated a spiritual path or a religious path. It's not that you didn't have it, you had it, you just hadn't been using it, right? And then some of y'all, it was a brand new tapping. You connected. Maybe you got under one of the old heads in there and they put you on. I know a lot of men go to jail and become Muslim. Okay, so some of y'all could, be resonating with this message, because if you're resonating with the message for yourself or your partner, and then for some of you, it might not have been religious. It could have been, you got into the occult while you were in there. You just got into something that I feel like you had already had some little bit of knowledge about, or just had a little curiosity. And when you began to study, it turned into a full-blown understanding, because you already had a little bit of desire to know about it anyway. And when you tapped it, when you exercised it, you were like, what? This whole time I kind of already had been knowing this stuff, and I just needed to become more enlightened. I needed to become more. So sometimes, and what's my favorite saying? Sometimes shit happens so that shift can happen. And this was most definitely a shift. So I am talking to somebody who gained spiritual or religious clarity. And I think that's why I picked up on the fact that a lot of trust and a lot of fortitude was reactivated or reestablished or activated or established within you because of this enlightenment that you got. So I feel like that's what helped you walk the rest of the time now. Okay. Now, everybody experiencing something didn't necessarily do time. I am picking up on jail time, but maybe it was just the back and forth to court. Maybe it was the thought that this situation gonna land me in jail. Maybe you had a good lawyer. Maybe you never did the time, but maybe just the thought and again, all the money that was spent out trying to make sure you don't go to jail. That too can put you in a powerless mindset to know that somebody can at any moment take your freedom from you. So place the energy where it belongs. But what I know now, beyond the shadow of a doubt, You are back in your power. And your trust, your knowledge, your self-discipline, your understanding of thyself, because I'm talking to somebody who's mastered now. I'm not talking to somebody who came out and you jumped back into that know nothing mindset that you had. You know too much now. Okay. I'm talking about an alchemist. I'm talking about somebody who transmuted their situation from shit to shine. Okay. And you had a partner, a lover, or it just could have been your family, but I'm picking more up on it being an actual mate that held you down, that kept, that kept you motivated as much as he or she could, and kept things on the up and up on the outside for those of you who had to do some time. You didn't have to worry about out there because your partner made sure that everything was taken care of out there, even made sure you had some top-notch things to come home to. Okay, so I'm talking to somebody who, for real, yeah, it was a sad situation because you had to go to jail, but it didn't stay sad. It was only sad because, again, who wants their freedom taken away? But I think once you made peace with that, because I'm talking to somebody who made peace with the experience that they were experiencing. Okay, you made peace with it, and that was like another accolade. That was another notch under your belt that you was in this situation, but they didn't take your power. You was able to call it back and then put it toward whatever you needed to keep yourself sane while you were in there. And what did you use? What did you do? Books, studying. You watched documentaries. So many of you tapped into ancient knowledge. I'm picking up on ancient information. You were able to. I think some of y'all sit under some people or got under some people or some old heads. You got under some people that were able to teach you some stuff, and that piqued your curiosity too. So, yeah, definitely talking to someone who learned a lesson, and the lesson brought you a mighty matchless blessing because you are so empowered now. And this is Aries energy, by the way. So it's funny that we have the polarities here. Libra is balanced with Aries, okay? Because the Emperor is representative of Aries and Justice is representative of Libra. So it's funny to see those polarities out here together. I could even be speaking to some of you who have your North Node Aries or your South Node. Your nodes are always going to be opposite of one another. So you could be South Node Aries, North Node Libra, or vice versa. If you're resonating with the message, go ahead and hit that like, subscribe if you haven't. Because with these two aces out, you're missing the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. But I don't think you needed them. I believe that your partner, your family, whoever held you down, they kept you so motivated, which would be the Wands, and they kept you so full of love. They answered that phone every time you called, right? They came and visited every time they could. Your commissary was on swole. So you didn't lose out on the cups and you didn't lose out on the wands, but you did lose out on physical things, right? You were tucked away. They had you locked up, and you most definitely missed out on or had your mental agility tested. So that's what you were given once you decided to make peace with the experience and turn it from shit to shine. The universe always knows what we need. And that's exactly what you were blessed with. Clarity, truth, power, fortitude, perseverance. Many of you all claimed new territory too. Many of you all, and I know that because the swords, once you tap clarity, because that's all the swords is, it's mental clarity, it's cerebral energy. Once you change your mind, you can change your world. So I'm telling you, I'm talking to somebody who went in a clown and came home a king. I'm talking to somebody who went in a dusty woman but came home a goddess, because you know some stuff now, and you didn't wait to come home to begin to apply the things that you began to learn. You started applying them in there when it was the most challenging, right? The level of peace that I see on whoever is resonating with this, there's a level of peace and trust. I see somebody who now steps out on faith. I see somebody who now has such a keen connection to their higher selves and with the God that they serve or the goddess that they serve, even if that means within yourself. Nothing can shake you now. Nothing can shake you. And I love that, because it's unfortunate that we have to go through turbulence just to be landed on solid ground. But something tells me that this type shit happens so your soul can remember who you are. Living in this realm and being caught up in the world removes people from who they are. You forget. And depending on how early you jumped off the porch and started doing things that removed you from yourself, kind of dictates how long it takes you to get back to yourself. But there was a rumbling that began to happen in you during this experience that was trying to shake you so your soul could begin to shoot you memories. Because some of y'all begin to understand some stuff that felt vaguely familiar. You know, earlier I said you already had a familiarity with some stuff, whether you learned it when you were younger but just got away from it, and then once you started learning it, it started computing and coming back really quickly. And then some of y'all, you didn't learn none of this in this life. You were having past life glimpses of stuff that you learned in a past life. I'm telling you, some of y'all went deep. You're back in leadership of your life. I know that. You're back in leadership of your life. Some of y'all may be telling your stories. Some of y'all may be, maybe some of y'all are creating podcasts. Some of y'all are opening up businesses that help certain things that you saw in prison. Some of y'all might be opening up businesses that help people who are in prison. Or some of y'all might be opening up halfway homes, because you understand now how important it is for people to have somewhere to go when they get out of that. That wasn't your case, because you already had family, lovers, whoever that made sure that you were going to be, good and comfy. But maybe that changed how you viewed what you were going to offer people. Like, man, people really don't have nowhere to stay when they go home, so that's why when they get out. So maybe that's why they go back. I don't know. I just sense that this was a turning point. This changed some things for you. Okay. The devil. Capricorn entered the chat. This situation gave you order. It gave you structure. The devil card is governed by Saturn. That's all Saturn does. Now, I also have to mention that Saturn is also the planet of karma. So I'm probably talking to somebody who, even if you got blamed for something that you didn't do, you might didn't do what that was, but you probably had done something that brought about this karma. Okay? Maybe they said you robbed a bank and stole a car. You probably didn't do that, but you did something else that you got away with another time, maybe even in another life. Because see, we don't get away with nothing. Everything we do comes back to us, good or bad. That's why whatever you throw out, you can expect it to come on back. Okay, so doesn't matter. All good. The shit happened. The shift happened. You back in your power. You beat the devil. Okay, and not beat it because you was able to outsmart it. No, you owned your shit. You made peace with your past. Okay. I'm going to pull you one more card because I don't want this reading to be too long, but I believe that I'm already talking to whoever's going to resonate with this, right? I've said enough, because this isn't a cautionary reading. This isn't a, you know, ooh, this is a reading of triumphant energy. This is a reading of perseverance. This is a reading of somebody who says, you know what, it is what it is, and I got to make the best of this situation. And you did. You learned your lesson. You made peace with your past. You made peace with yourself. You mastered some versions of yourself, and now you've come home so mature and grown. You may have went in a boy, you came out a man. And I ain't even talking about from an age standpoint, but I could be talking to somebody who went in at 18, 19, 20, 21. Unfortunately, you maybe had to do 20 years or whatever. Okay, or you could have went in at 44. Did 5 years and came out at 49. That still grew you up. It doesn't matter. The age doesn't matter. But I can see this. So for some of y'all, you went in a young man and you have come out a seasoned man. You are prime rib. And you had a good woman on your team, whether it was your mama, your baby mama, or your wife. If you were the woman and you came home, you had your mama, your children, maybe your husband. I don't know. Unfortunately, men don't be sticking around when women go to jail. So I'm just being honest. So I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like men do that, because men, y'all don't do that. Women, we do that. If we love you, we gonna ride that bid out with you. But I digress. So for women, it could have been a good man. I don't know. But it seems more so like your family, your mother, your father, your children. They held you down and kept you motivated, made sure you had everything you needed while you were there. And now that you're home, it was something that you were doing prior to this experience that, you know, and for some reason I just saw a sewing machine. So some of y'all used to make clothes, or maybe used to, you know, like go to the Goodwill and get stuff and remake it and sell it. Okay, maybe I don't know. I just saw a sewing machine, so I don't know what you used to do with clothes, or, you know, revamping stuff for people. And that's just the example that my mind's eye showed. It could be anything. You could have had some kind of business going, or had some type of desire to open up a business, and your family kept everything that you were gathering up. And now that you're home, you ain't got to go buy nothing. You got everything you need to start that business. Seeds that you planted prior to this experience is what's going to help you flourish a thriving business. The universe had to sit you down for a minute, but now you up. You up. Big mama up. Big daddy up. Right? That's the towel. Yeah, that's what happened to you. But you landed on your feet. It was a long fall. And the fall included whatever time you had to spend, whatever you lost, all of that. All of that was the fall. You landed on your feet. And now you are in your emperor phase. Not to mention we're in Aries season. So some of y'all, this is happening for you right now. You're seeing your seeds grow. You're seeing something that you planted in full harvest. Because I don't think I'm talking to somebody who's not seeing results. I think you're seeing results, tangible results. Able to touch it, able to hold it. It's green where you at. It's real green. It's real lush. You're not praying for it to work out. It's working out. Okay? Working out. So, very proud of you. You stood the test of time and you passed. So, therefore, I believe that you're going to get all that time back tenfold by way of prosperity, by way of good health, by way of good measure. Because while you were there, you did the work. While you were there, you said yes to your soul's remembrance. Okay? You didn't just sit in there and do time. You sitting there and you took the time to build yourself. You a mighty matchless human being, whoever you are. Okay. I'm done. If you resonate with this message, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. This message may not have been for everybody, and that's okay. If it was, Asheo, may it bless you, okay? All right, good people. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.